Over the 2 days of 17th and 18th February 1944, the 9 fast carriers of the US Navy's Task Force 58 launched 500 aircraft to attack the Japanese advance base of Truk Atoll in Micronesia, far out into the Pacific. Truk was Japan's main forward naval and air base. Its sheltered lagoon was home to the Japanese fleet. Over the course of the 2-day raid, codenamed Operation Hailstone, more than 40 Japanese ships were sunk and some 275 aircraft destroyed. 220,000 tons of Japanese shipping went to the bottom of the lagoon, a 2-day record for the entire war. Huge supply ships filled with munitions, tanks, trucks, bombs, naval shells and thousands of troops all landed in the bottom of the lagoon, and today make Truk the greatest wreck diving location in the world. It is on every wreck diver's bucket list. In this video I'm going to look at one of the biggest aircraft wrecks in the lagoon, that of a Kawanishi H8K2 flying boat, which lies in just 12 to 15 metres of water northwest of the artificial aircraft carrier shaped Iten Island just south of Tonawus, which was formerly known as the Japanese Takeshima Air Base. The Allies allocated shortened coded reporting names for all Japanese aircraft, and this Kawanishi flying boat was codenamed EMILY. It lies not far from the Mitsubishi G4M bomber, codenamed Betty, covered in an earlier video on this playlist. The dive starts at the upside down tip of the starboard wing, which has its support float lying beside it on the seabed in the foreground. Sections of the outer wing and flaps are fabric covered, and today the fabric is rotted away to reveal the skeletal framework. You can see the dark coloured heavy-duty struts that would have held the wing float, angled to stern to right of shot. In the distance to right of shot you can see the aft fuselage. Moving along the huge wing, inboard towards the fuselage, we come to the 2 starboard engines, each holding a 4-bladed prop. The engines have dropped from their mounts to the seabed, but it's clear that the prop tips are not bent, indicating that this EMILY did not hit the water violently. On the underside of each engine is a distinctive air intake. Moving further along the starboard wing, we arrive at the nose cone. The cockpit still has a number of sections of perspex in place, whilst the circular framework of the nose cone turret is visible. The glass of the turret itself and the 20mm cannon are no longer present. Moving aft from the cockpit along the top of the fuselage has broken away and twisted from the main sections of the plane in the sinking process. Somehow, the nose of the plane has remained upright, while the rest of the plane sections are upside down. The 2 engines of the inverted port wing are still visible. The inboard engine has fallen from its wing mount. The prop itself has detached. One of the inboard engine prop tips is slightly bent. The under-engine air intake is noticeable. The port outboard engine remains in place with its 4 prop blades unbent. The port wing float rests on top of the wing itself, its after end noticeably sweeping aft to a point. The 2 support struts lead to the underside of the wing. The skeletal metal framework of the once fabric-covered flaps are again visible. The tail section of the fuselage lies upside down a little distance away from the wings, the flush riveting of the underside of the aluminium tail very prominent. The horizontal tail fins project out along the seabed to either side. The fabric of the elevators rotted away to reveal the skeletal framework. Although the tail turret is hidden underneath, the 20mm cannon can be seen projecting just above the seabed.
Okay.
The main aft section of the fuselage lies near the detached tail section and is also upside down. The centre line of the keel is visible, revealing that this section lies more on its starboard side than the tail section. On the way back to the downline, I noticed several ruptures in the aluminium of the underside of the starboard wing. These appear to be exit wounds from cannon or machine gun fire, revealing that the Emily has been strafed from above. Adding this to the fact of the undamaged and unbent props makes me suspect that this Emily was shot at whilst on the surface and just perhaps starting to get underway. If you want to read more about Operation Hailstone, the famous events and the shipwrecks of Truk Lagoon and indeed the aircraft wrecks, check out my book Dive Truk Lagoon.